enough about me. Did have a rather productive discourse with Maddie.
Because you're fucking stupid and uneducated. You're uneducated, you're stupid, you're a piece of shit, you're a hormone-infested bullshit artist.
Constitutional Corner, a.k.a. Ben Franklin's ugly twin brother.
You're full of shit. Name one fucking case. Name a fucking case.
In that conversation, even though I was muted, the good people in the Discord were kind enough to relay the messages from me, the rather probative questions that I had for Maddie. Like, number one, cite your fucking case.
One case. Name a fucking case. You goddamn piece of shit. Name a case. Name a fucking case. One case. Name a case. Name a case. You hoe bag. Name a case.
And eventually, she cited a case. She cited Lozman v. the city of Riviera.
That's why you have to fucking bullshit about everything else. That's why you need to fucking fight me, because you can't fucking name a case.
Geese. Honk, honk, honk.
You got bullshit. You got nothing. You've got nothing. You fucking bullshit artist.
He doesn't get it.
They've had a rather contentious relationship, Mr. Lozman and the city of Riviera. This last one, which is a retaliatory arrest. Mr. Lozman was being disruptive, apparently, in the city council meetings, and he was asking questions that were off topic because he was pissed about what was going on with his home. They ended up having him arrested, or he ended up getting arrested. They called the police because he was making statements that were off topic. And the city council has you have to stay on topic with whatever the business at hand is policy. And so the police came and they arrested Lozman. He sued for a retaliatory arrest. I think he sued. The Supreme Court eventually said you got to look at three things in that particular case. The first thing you have to look at is, could a jury find that the city had made a retaliatory policy directed at Lozman? The second thing that you have to find is that it was an official act by the city to arrest Lozman, because you have to remember, the city can't just order Lozman be arrested. The cop shows up, and then the second prong is, was it official act by the city to have him arrested? And that's questionable because the city calls the police show up, the police still have discretionary power. They're not going to arrest unless they believe there's probable cause. And then the third prong is that a reasonable jury couldn't find that the city proved, even absent the retaliatory nature, that the arrest would have occurred. So they remanded it back to the Court of Appeals to look at those things. And so now you're wondering, what does this have to do with Mrs. Little Mac's arrest on a bus? It doesn't have anything to do with that. There's no allegations that the city made a policy, or that the Rapid made a policy, a retaliatory policy, specifically to target Mrs. Little Mac. There is no indication that the Transit, or the Rapid, whatever the hell it was, had the power to force the police officers to make the arrest. It appeared that that was the police officer's choice and doing, and they made it based on her being disruptive. So what does this have to do with Mrs. Little Mac? Nothing. There is no indication that the Rapids created some sort of a retaliatory policy to go after Mrs. Little Mac. There is no evidence that the Rapids had her arrested. The police decided they wanted to arrest her because she was being uncooperative. And the final prong is probably moot. But is there a good independent reason besides filming that she got arrested? And I would say absolutely yes, there is. She was being disruptive. She was disrupting the driver. I mean, you can't drive if you're having someone disrupting you. It's not safe. So, yes. So Lozman doesn't apply.
You fucking, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not smart enough to fucking name a case. You can't name a case because you're a fucking retard.
There's no
You're a retard. Why don't you name a case?
About it.
I don't care how much respect you have for me. I have zero respect for you. You know why? It's because you can't name a case.
He couldn't argue his way through a case
can't name a
to
case.
save his life.
Why isn't anybody else fucking talking to this bitch? Because she's muted me.
Sure you guys have heard
why can't you name a fucking case?
Or
name a fucking case. Name a fucking case.
Over each other, we can't hear it.
Name a fucking case, Maddie.
Maddie, it's not you, because you two are talking over each other. You may have him muted,
Maddie.
but the rest of us don't.
Yeah, the rest of us don't, Maddie. So yeah, you can't just ignore me because everybody else is hearing me. Then all of a sudden you don't have to fucking challenge me to an MMA match, you stupid fat bitch. Why don't you name a case? You're the one challenging me to a fucking MMA match because you can't name a case. You stupid fucking twat. I never said shit about EOG or fucking Jeff Gray. Why don't you name a case? I know, man. I feel it deep down in my fucking balls. My very feminine balls. I feel it. It's a tingly feeling in my balls. I feel it. The courtroom. It's financed with public money, you dumb fuck. No, honey.
Let me finish.
Honey, let him finish. It's not a traditional public forum, you dumb twat. Maddie, you're fucking stupid. You don't know what you're looking at. That's why you have to mute me, you fucking bullshit piece of shit. I got all the memories.
And I remember it was around that time that he was
I got the member berries.
Buses and stuff.
Yeah, hear me. Because I'm fucking talking over you, Maddie, you stupid twat. She can't cite where it fucking says liberties in the U.S. Constitution.
They only hear
she can't show an actual distinction between liberties and rights. She can't cite a case to support her fucking claims. She's fucking stupid as fuck, but she's confident.
Really good chance.
She's fucking confident. I really wish that she could fucking hear me because she needs to understand how full of shit she is. Can someone please tell her how fucking full of shit she is? Please, for the love of God, tell her how full of shit she is. Jesus Christ, you're fucking retarded, Maddie.
Go ahead, I'm not trying to talk over you.
Fuck you, Maddie.
Somebody was just trying to talk and...
Fuck you, Maddie.
I don't know who it was.
Fuck you, Maddie.
If you want to talk...
Fuck you, Maddie. Fuck you, Maddie. You're fucking stupid.
Anyway...
You haven't done your fucking homework, Maddie.
You have to do your homework.
You think it says liberties somewhere in there in the Constitution.
I sit there...
You're fucking retarded. You're absolutely retarded. I'm really irritated that no one else is standing up to her. Why do you keep polishing fucking Maddie's knob? She's fucking retarded.
You there?
Why do you keep sucking her dick?
No, I'm just saying.
She's not savvy as she's not savvy.
I agree with you.
She's fucking stupid. I used to get picked on. You're fucking retarded, Maddie. You're fucking retarded, Maddie.
At the time,
I was told by Officer Shaw that my clit is too large and my balls are too saggy because I guess I'm not a good enough female. You stupid twat. But you know what? You're fucking retarded because it doesn't say liberties in the U.S. Constitution.
He is 50% to what I asked Mr. Hemming to do.
Mr. Hemming's not a lawyer.
How the fuck are you getting past my fucking...
Because you're a bitch, that's why.
There we go.
Fuck you.
I just shut it off. There we go.
Enough about me. Did have a rather productive discourse with Maddie.
You know what, Maddie? Who the fuck is a lawyer in this community besides me who's giving free legal advice? Who? Who besides me is putting their fucking neck on the line for you fuckers? Who is putting people, who is giving people free legal advice except for me? Maddie, you fucking dipshit.
You think Radner's going to...
I don't think so.
I
honestly don't. There was no need for the arrest.
Is that because Radner takes good cases?
I don't think that hers is a really good case, in my opinion. I don't know that she's going to lose.
Oh my God!
But you don't get arrested. The whole point of it is not to get arrested.
Oh my God!
And she
either there was a violation of her rights or there wasn't. You stupid twat.
And I don't think it was necessarily for views, and I know a lot of people will disagree with me on that, and that's fine. I don't think it was for views.
I think she was encouraged by idiots that were in the comments section, encouraging her to do.
Can someone point out that if her rights were violated, it was a good lawsuit whether she was arrested or not?
Maddie.
Yeah.
Maddie, were her rights violated?
I haven't seen the video in its entirety, so
she hasn't even seen the fucking video
on that level.
Holy shit!
I'm just going to be honest with you.
Oh my God!
Are you fucking kidding me?
So then you're arguing a point that you don't know all the facts.
I've only heard what she said.
Oh my God! Wait, was somebody making a case about me not doing my homework?
I haven't seen the bus incident itself. As far as I knew, it wasn't even published.
Holy Jesus!
Now, Maddie, doesn't that sound a little lazy? Like you call Merb for not doing homework but citing the case anyway?
No, I didn't cite the case. You guys asked me what I felt about it.
You can't fucking cite a case.
I know the fact that she got arrested.
I know the fact.
When you can back off and retreat before getting arrested is going to go against you, whether or not you were.
I'm done, kids.
Not.
Have fun with this.
It's going to go against you in a court in the criminal trial. It may not even be used in a 1983 later. It may not be even pertinent at that point. Can I say that her rights were violated? Possibly. You can stand up for yourself and take the arrest, Rosa Parks. Okay, she stood up and she stood for something, and look what happened. Okay, so she gets arrested, but the fact is that the rights were still violated and changes came from the arrest. If there's no changes that come from the arrest, then the arrest was useless to begin with.